Alright guys, this video is pretty straightforward. Instagram came out with that new Q&A feature. I mean, you could kind of always ask questions on Instagram, but this one made it cool to ask questions. One note, I apologize in advance for any misreadings of your usernames on Instagram. I'm already basically illiterate. Combine that with the fact that I am jet lagged, and you'll have some interesting pronunciations. But yeah, I just got back from California, which is why I'm jet lagged, which is crazy because it's my first time being jet lagged because it was my first time being on an airplane. It was a really fun trip. I am so excited to share the whole experience with you guys in the coming weeks. I got a lot of footage to edit, a lot of magic and cardistry experiences on the West Coast that I'm really excited to show you. So bear with me through this Q&A. I really think you guys will like it because I've never read any of these questions yet. I'm gonna read them for the first time, and you go through every single one of them thoughtfully, carefully, as genuinely, but as quickly as possible, so we can make this video not 3 hours long. So let's hop in. All right, so question number one, Janku_52 asks, what is the best way to read a magic book? To just go through it or look for something specific? I would say with any book, the best way to read it is probably just to read it front to back the first time to get like a general understanding of what's in the book, and then if there's something you saw you liked, go back and read it in more detail, read it again, and get it down. Magic Cat 2003 responded to a question together, could we do a live video together? We've done that before. I don't see why not. The only problem is that Grant and I we've probably done Instagram Live like twice ever. So it's not really not doing it with you, it's just that we don't really do it in general, but I don't really see why we couldn't. So message me if you want to do something there. Mr. Jake Mayfield asks, why does cheese seem healthier when it's not melted? Ha! That's actually really cool. If you think about it, that does seem right. Well, I haven't had cheese in like 7 years, so I'm probably not the best person to answer that. Nikki.03.Roma said, you're really amazing, I love you. Can you say hi to me? I don't know how to say it in English. Hi, Nikki. Tricking Forever asked, what keeps you motivated to keep learning and performing more and more tricks? Honestly, you guys are probably my biggest motivation at this point. You know, back when I started, it was for myself, and it still is for myself, but I really feel like now with YouTube, lots of the things that gets me excited about magic is making a video about it. So if I learn a new trick, obviously it's really fun to go out and perform it for people, but it's even more fun to post it on YouTube and see what you guys think of it. Andrew_Campin asks, can you go check out Free Shot Films on YouTube? Sure, I can try to, yeah. I'll probably go look at it when I'm editing this and see this question. Meat_blanket.777 responded to your question and said, is a hot dog a sandwich? No, I think a hot dog's its own thing. PSD Hoof asks, how do you trick us? Magic. NS_illusionist282 asks, how often should you floss? Personally, I like to floss at least 20 times a day. You guys think this is a joke, but if you've watched the podcast in the past, floss picks are a big part of my life. You really got to make sure you get in there and clean out all the excess gunk in your teeth. But really the reason I got addicted to floss picks is because I eat a lot of stringy meats, and there's this one spot in my molar where if food gets in there, I think I would rather like stab myself. It hurts so much. By the way, if you see any edits in this, it's not like I'm trying to, edit a response. It's mainly because I'm basically illiterate and usernames are hard to read. So, Cardisoon asks, what kind of Christians are you guys? Well, I think denomination's a tricky thing when it comes to the Christian faith. Put it this way, I think lots of denominations are almost exactly the same, but without going into detail, I personally believe that all humans are sinful. I'm sinful, and without God's help, I cannot get into heaven because God is righteous and pure and sinless, and I am sinful. Therefore, I need Jesus Christ to save me and forgive me of my sins and make myself clean so that I can get into heaven. I know that without Jesus, there is no way I could ever be good enough to get into heaven, and it's solely 100% Jesus who can take me there. I believe that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's the best answer out there, but I really am just going off the dome in this video. So Cardisoon also replies, what video editing app or software do you recommend using? I use Premiere Pro. I know that can be expensive, I get it for free with the university I go to, but nothing's free. I obviously pay tuition to that school. And he said, what software do you recommend using? That's a tough one because I know not everyone can afford that or has a computer that can run that. One thing I will tell you, the best photo editing app on your phone out there, I think, is Snapseed. I use that for almost all our Instagram pictures. Wit_NA asks, can you get me some chicken? Maybe. Just Josh and Magic says, is a hot dog a sandwich? I think I already got that question. Yeah, I did. Hot dog is its own thing. And by the way, Just Josh, and I've seen lots of your stuff on Instagram. You're really sick. In a good way. Natha Damansud asks, what do you like most in cardistry? I would say a really satisfying two-handed cut. Like the second you get it smooth, I feel like you just look very dexterous and it's fun. Headphones asks, when will we meet up? Whenever you want to, man. Live_magic.225. Thing you hate seeing magicians/cardists doing. I would say the thing I hate seeing them do is performing for magicians and like their peers rather than actual spectators, because I think that can get you in a really bad habit of overproving stuff. Because when you perform for magicians, obviously this can be really hard to fool them because they always have, their own catalog of knowledge in their brain that normal people wouldn't have. So I think you should perform your magic for the 99.9% of people out there who don't study magic books rather than your peers. Obviously your peers can make you better, but I think you really need to cater towards who you're actually performing for. McKay.mp4 said, what the heck happened to the podcast? Listening to that was my favorite part of the week. All right, this is a tough one. So obviously Grant and I love doing the podcast, but with Grant's job that he currently has in New York, the type of camp he works at, the summer season, so June through August is like the busiest time of the year. That's when his job ramps up to like sometimes 70, 80-hour work weeks just because of the demand in the summer of his job. So because of that, I don't really get to chat with Grant that much anymore. We barely get to play Fortnite together. So recording a podcast has been really hard. So I would say we might be able to get some here and there, but we'll definitely start it back up after the summer's over. Jim Radish said, is it worth starting to learn cardistry now? By the time I get good at it, will the fad be over? I don't really think it's a fad. I think if you learn cardistry, it's going to help you a lot in life. Whether it's not just making a cool first impression on someone or just being unique, I think it would be worth it. I do, especially if you're already a magician. Will___T_ says, favorite magic book to learn routines from? I would say Paul Curry's Worlds Beyond is my favorite magic book. I don't necessarily, I think routines is something that you kind of build yourself with the tricks that you know, that knowledge base, and then you as a performer are the person who's responsible for weaving those routines together. Ethan_NGO asks, how did you make that photo in the background? How are all those cards floating? Looks neat. Photoshop. What Grant and I did was we took all those pictures and held cards up, and then I photoshopped and basically took all those pictures out of the cards and then, floating, all that stuff, and kind of pasted them on there. How did you become famous? Asks Signatary03. I do not think we're famous. We have been recognized once, like on the street, just out in public, like one time. Someone was like, are you guys magic? But that was like a year ago. I don't think we're famous at all. But if you're talking about like getting a following, I would just say try and make unique content, and maybe you'll get some subscribers like we did. RWPFEIF asks, how did you guys get into magic and cardistry? Well, Grant got into it from a friend at school, and then I got into it from a brother named Grant. Wireless Flower asks, why do they call it life insurance? Well, life insurance is basically if you die. Oh, I see what he's saying. So if you die, then you're not alive anymore. But I guess it's insurance on your life because your life has value. And once that life goes away, that life becomes value and insurance and money for who you leave behind, I guess. Kuda316 asks, how are you floating? Winky face. Well, there's this program called Adobe Photoshop. You should look into it. But I also have mad white boy hops. Sig Magdraco asks, would y'all be able to do a judo flip troubleshooting? I think that's a really good tutorial. I mean, I learned the judo flip from it. I don't think it would, I'd probably get a mean response if I made one. People would say, well, this isn't necessary, you're just trying to get views. Which shouldn't really bother me if people want it, but I do think the tutorial on YouTube is plenty good. I think you should just watch that and then watch other people do it and kind of learn their subtleties and stuff like that. Andre Ecosteria said, what would you do if you couldn't perform magic? Probably play sports. I played basketball pretty seriously, kind of in college and high school. So yeah, I think I went into magic because of my health. The sports wasn't really an option anymore. Brandon_Yak asks, would you do a YouTube collab with me? Yeah, I mean, sure, dude. That's the simple answer, but the thing is about when we do collabs, we want to make sure we do them in person. So like we meet up and do something in person, which is kind of hard to do in case we live far away. And we like to do that because we like all the stuff on our YouTube channel to be like stuff that we made. So rather than like taking a video for someone and posting it, you know, we're really open to any collabs. We just want to do them in person. You know what I mean? So like we're together, we film a video together rather than like filming a video for each other. That's kind of like my philosophy on collabs. Magic Face Chris asks, what is your best card trick? Depends on the situation, I would guess. I do a really good haunted deck, I think, but I use that as a part of a trick. So, but that always blows. I would say the haunted deck, but that's not really a skill. I guess there's a thing called the Ultimate 3-card Monty I really like. Yeah. Okay, so NENAD Connor responded to your question and said, why did you unfollow me? Ha 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 ha. Well, probably by accident. We usually follow people if they I shouldn't say this now because then everyone will ask, but normally if people ask us to follow them, we do, but that builds up over time. And with both and Grant and I both running the account, maybe one of us unfollowed you because there was a weird post or something like that. Like, I don't know, I have to look into it. But I do know that I've followed people before, and then I'm scrolling through the Rise Magic Insta feed, and I'm basically just following strangers, obviously. And there is something like, I'm not saying you did this. I'm not saying you did this, and Ned did Connor. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's happened before where there's something like foul on our feed, or it's like, oh my gosh, that girl is barely clothed. So you got to unfollow that account, obviously. But maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I'm sorry. We can follow you back if you message us or something. But I feel like now we're going to get a lot of... Steve Magic asks, I'm finally back into Magic. Can you recommend me some great and fast cuts? The Sybil cut, Squoze, Phased, stuff like that. Matt's Magic asks, is West Coast the best coast? You know what? When I went to California, what I was shocked by, and it's because I've never traveled before and I'm ignorant, is that the Pacific Ocean is freaking cold. So at first, because California is so beautiful, I thought, wow, I want to live here. But when I realized the ocean never gets like over 75, I don't really, because what's the point of a beach if you can't swim in it? Or the ocean if you can't swim in it. So I think I'd rather live in Florida on the East Coast than, the West Coast. But it was pretty awesome. Oleg_Papaka asked, what is your favorite flourish, Phased or the Riffle fan? Okay, so my camera doesn't have a LCD that flips around. So it has like a half-hour recording limit. So I had to check on that. Now we're back. Okay. David_Miller930, why did you do this to yourself? Are you asking about doing the Q&A? David, I do it because I love you. C. Kirk19 asked, if you are born deaf, what language do you think in? Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's probably... Wow. I got nothing, dude. That's a good question. You got me thinking. Darian.Yahir asks, which Cardistry move took you the longest to master and why? I would say the Riffle fan, because back when I learned it, I just learned it from... I think I learned it like 4 years ago. But I just learned it from watching people, so there was no tutorial. So I had like all these videos lined up of people performing it, and I would put them in like Premiere Pro and actually slow them down manually and learn from that. And I think it took me like 3 months to learn, which is probably longer than a lot of people, but I think it was worth it. Kimchi Thai asks, what got you interested in Magic, Grant? Aced_magic said, online shopping or magic shops. I don't really have any magic shops near me. In San Fran, I got to visit an awesome one. You'll see that in an upcoming video. I think online shopping is kind of the future of everything, but what's unfortunate about that is false advertising is a big thing when you're shopping online, because you don't get to see the trick like really live, like performed live. So I would say if there's a magic shop near you, that's probably the better option, but I think that's not possible for a lot of people. Pravar Jean asks, when's the Rise Magic deck? It's in the works. The thing is that Grant and I are working on it, and I feel like a lot of decks are just like logos slapped on cards with normal faces and stuff like that, or just really minimal designs that I'm not saying they don't take work, but are just like, you can tell that it was just a very basic idea, and we really want to do something different and unique, because I don't know, I feel like the market is oversaturated a little bit, but also stale at the same time. So we really want to do something unique. It's in the works, so look out for that soon. That's all I can say. It's Matt, my dudes, asked, what was the hardest part about growing your YouTube channel? I would say consistency. For a year and a half now, we have not missed 1 week of uploading. As in, our channel for a year and a half has not gone more than 6 days without an upload, which can get really hard sometimes when you're in school and stuff. But I think consistency is also what helps you grow, so that's the hardest part about growing. Frederico_Scotti asks, do you know you are the best? No, man, I didn't. Thanks. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Barthon Liston asks, pizza, question mark? I haven't had pizza in 6 years, but I used to enjoy it. But that's a thing of the past for me. Mazur Lesueur responded, can you follow me, please? Yes. Sam_or_Scott asks, have you ever accidentally performed a trick? I don't think so. I mean, I don't really know what you're asking there. I have messed up a trick in the middle of it, and then been able to like be impromptu and change that into a different trick. If you like switch paths and go a different direction with the trick because of a mistake and performed it that way and recovered. I guess so. Yeah, I guess I accidentally have before. Ritvik_Garg_1 says, any plans for India? It was my first time flying like a week ago, and that was in country. I don't even have a passport. So, but you know, maybe things blow up and we can go to India. But I would try to visit every country or continent or country before I die. I would hope so. So maybe way off in the future. We'll see. Conjuring_Deception asks, can you support Kickstarter project? I'm assuming you meant my Kickstarter project. I don't, is it your book? I'm not really, probably, yeah, I'll look into it. K_Prashama asks, what inspired you to start YouTubing? That's a really, really long, deep, complicated story that involves a lot of trials. But the simple answer is I was bored in bed all day, so I edited some of our Instagram videos into a compilation and posted them. And it did well, so that made me keep going. Illinois asks, what inspired you to perform magic, and who was your first magician role model? I think the answer to both those is Grant, but I feel like it's also kind of a cop-out because I know you guys, Grant was the one who started me, and I guess he was my role model when I first started. But someone you should look at is Chris James. He performs incredible magic. He's like super smooth and cool. And he's one of those guys who's just like cool without even trying. So I really like that about him, and I kind of try and be like him when I perform, while also being myself. Hazan_Tanim asks, do you practice every day? I've definitely practiced cardistry every day, just kind of fiddling around with cards 24/7 when I'm working or something like that on the computer. Magic tricks, I feel like the only way you can truly practice those is through performing, and I don't necessarily perform every single day, so I hope that answers your question. Brooke Exley Magic, I hope I said that right. It says Invisible or Omni deck. Invisible deck, you can buy your own custom-made Talley Ho Invisible deck on rise-magic.com/store. But that's actually my answer. I'm not just trying to advertise. Invisible deck is my favorite thing in the whole world. I think it's bulletproof. Doko_official asks, hardest cardistry move that you ever learned? I think we got that before, right? It's Riffle-Fan. Dr. Volupes Lagopus, where is the most difficult card trick to perform? I don't really know. I feel like one that has the highest chance of messing up. I don't really perform any. This isn't even a cocky way, because there's tricks that I'm not really that good at performing, but I don't perform them. So I feel like all the tricks I do, I have a very high chance of succeeding at them. I hope that answers your question. DirtBiker14 asks, how fun is it making videos? So much fun. If it wasn't fun, I wouldn't keep doing it, even when like the views go down or the video isn't getting views or something like that. It really is fun making videos. Sometimes the editing process can get a little annoying if you're not editing like a fun video. For this Q&A, for example, I'm gonna have to go in there and cut all of these little things out and paste them at the right time so you can see your questions video. So that part isn't fun. That's a little tedious, but overall, I think it's an absolute blast, and that's why I keep doing it. Amendo.nepo asks, what magic books would you recommend? I already said Paul Curry's World Beyond. I think in our description we've got a few books listed you can check out. Ty the Walker asks, what's your favorite non-card effect? I would say, even though it's super simple, it's like that glasses levitation flip you see me doing a lot. I think it's really cool because glasses is something like super personal that someone usually has on them every day, and it's a really personal object, and it's pretty easy to perform. Connor.s_60_4 asks, how do you strive to become successful at what you do? I think being motivated to succeed is something that's inherent in everyone. So if I'm going to spend a lot of time on something like I do with YouTube, then I want to be successful at it. So not only for myself, but I can justify to my friends and family that like, this is worth it. This is worth for me to continue doing. So being successful at it kind of helps you justify keep going, you know? And I want to keep going, so I motivate myself to be, strive for successful in that way. Man, this is really bad when I don't cut up this video. You can see how I talk without all the editing. Joshua_Naido_504 asks, can you teach a judo flip? There is a great tutorial for it on the Fontaine Cars YouTube channel. Cheryl_Cardistry asks, can this be the last question in the video? I guess not, because it's not the last one here. I'm sorry. I'm just reading these for the first time. The Jewish Grammar Nazi. Am I allowed to say that? I guess so. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Can you really fly? I can jump high. Arsinaja52. Can you help me sharing my video, please? I would need more details. So if you watch this video and message me, maybe I can help. DHRUV_Kumar_ asks, what if you two are the only real people in this world and everybody else is an illusion? Maybe. If that were true, though, we'd have more subscribers. BMEK Chan asks, how do you deal with hustlers? Hustlers, I don't really know, because I guess a hustler would be a magician who's trying to hustle. I'm assuming you mean hecklers. I have a whole video on that, how to deal with hecklers. I think it's called How to Dominate Hecklers, that you can check out on our channel. The Asian Magician asks, do you like Zach Mueller? I've never met him, so I can't really like or dislike him personally. I think if you remove yourself from that personal situation, he's done incredible things for the cardistry community, made a ton of moves, really elevated the kind of like the platform of cardistry to a really popular level. So I think, yeah, I like him. But like I said, I've never met him, so, Lost_Deceiver asks, what did all begin? Egg or chicken? I'm assuming like where did it all begin? Egg or chicken? I would say chicken, because I'm a Christian. I believe God created the heavens and the earth, and I would assume he made the chicken first to hatch the egg. Okay, Aaron's52_ asks, you are only allowed to perform one effect for the rest of your life. What's the effect? I'm really not trying to make this an advertisement, but it would be the invisible deck. And that's actually part of the reason why I started making my own like Talley Ho invisible decks, because I wanted to use Talley Hos, not bicycles, and I was so passionate about the invisible deck itself because I think it's such a good trick that's why I started doing it. So that's actually what I believe. Like, that's not an advertising tactic. If I could perform one effect for the rest of my life, it would be the invisible deck. It's impossible to someone's brain that would be possible. Michael Sturk asks, best effects for camera/Instagram. flap cards. If you make them really well, they look like an editing trick. It's so awesome. We have a few videos on our Instagram with those. Ice_cream_please, true, asks, what's the worst deck you have owned? Back a long while ago, Illusionist made these like vintage bicycle decks that were like supposed to look fake old, and they sucked. They couldn't fan, they couldn't do anything. Maybe I'll show you guys in a video sometime, but they were like the worst cards ever. Something was wrong with the finish on them. They really just wouldn't even fan. So bad. So, those bicycle vintages. I don't know the actual name of them, but I'll put up a picture here. Gino_Wormamet asks, are you going to release your own deck? I feel like we already answered that. Answer is yes. Patrick_Ware asks, if you could make Magic a full-time job, what would you do? I feel like that kind of answers this. Let me see. Magic a full-time job, what would you do? Do you mean specifically in Magic? I like close-up Magic, so I'd probably do close-up Magic as a full-time job. I like being close to the spectators and interacting with them on like a one-on-one, one-on-five-ish basis. Like, I feel like stage Magic is fun, but it feels like more of a rock star type thing where you don't really get to connect with the people in the audience, which is cool, but I really like making those connections in person. Banahana99 asks, until when you will stay in this hybrid community? Basically asking when we're going to be done. I don't really see an end right now. I think Magic and cardistry will always be a part of my life. I mean, who knows where I'll be when I'm 40 or 50 years old. Who knows if I'll still be alive. So I guess as long as I can is the answer. Aryan.sha.sharma.3000 asks, if Teresa's daughter was my mother's mother, then what am I to Teresa's mother? Let me reread this. Teresa's daughter. You're making me feel stupid, and I don't want to. This makes me feel really dumb. I'll figure it out when I'm editing. Bowl_pudding asks, do you still play Fortnite? Yeah, probably way too much. You can play with us. My username's ChandlerMan31. Grant's is Axton Cruz. I'm Zach Price asks, will you ever cease to be awesome? Stuff like this makes my day, man. Thank you. I hope not. You know, I'll just try to keep being me. If you think I'm awesome, hopefully nothing changes. Thanks, dude. BHARADWAJ.BS asks, is this the best question that'll be answered on YouTube? 100%. Ace.Chica asks, if water is wet, does that mean Chandler is better than Grant? Yes. But water's wet, yeah. That was on a podcast before. Nalin_2005 asks, how did you convince your parents that you want to take the Magic thing seriously? There really was no convincing. My parents supported me and Grant regardless of anything. And the fact, I think they saw us, like, they've seen us perform for people before, and they've seen the videos, and they see, like, people really enjoy it. So I don't think they've ever had a problem with it. Shattering Perception, that's a cool name, asks, when y'all coming by Massachusetts? Whenever we can. To come see you. Matt_Weltzine asks, Season 5, question mark? Oh, he's talking about Fortnite. You know it, boy? Always getting those victory royales. Kentucky Jake asks, did we really go to the moon? Yes. JJ201952 asks, how do you pick what you're going to learn to do next with cards? I have this massive list of tutorials on YouTube that I have saved of tricks and stuff. Lots of times, tricks, like new tricks I learned, that comes from routining and performing myself and being like, oh, a trick like this would go great here, and then doing the research to find that trick. Whereas cardistry, I'm always trying to learn something different. So like a lot of two-handed cuts can look the same and stuff like that. So if I see something that looks like really different, something like the Riffle Fan or the Anaconda, or like iconic moves that look really different and stand out, that's when I'm like, oh, I want to learn that. Bahatia_ADITYA96 asks, can I get a free cards from you? We'll probably have some giveaways coming up, but if you don't want to wait for a giveaway, rise-magic.com/store. Timothy is HYC asks, when did you start Magic? Why did you start Magic, and who was your role model? When did I start Magic was in high school. Why did I start Magic? To hang out with Grant. And who is your role model? Besides Grant, I would said it before, Chris James. He's a great magician. Magico9600 asks, do you guys want to see the final product of my fan art I made for you a while back? Yes, please. That would be so awesome. Please send it our way. That would be so sick. JLee_magic asks, you guys should teach more tutorial. Love the way you teach. Well, thank you, man. When we teach, we try and teach as if how we wanted someone to teach when we were learning, right? So all the details, all the stuff you need to know. And of course, we're always going to keep doing tutorials on the channel. That's a huge part of it. It's really what helped us grow. Tim11070900OTHY asks, what is your favorite deck? Talley Ho's, if I had to choose something. Same Tim asks, have you ever been to CARDISTRY? Will you join this year? I can't do it this year because it's international and on my passport. I missed the boat there. I really hope I can do it next year, but I haven't been before, and I really hope I can make it next year. Christian_Feldsey asks, do you still live in PA? Yes, I do during the summer when I'm out of college, but when I'm in college, I'm in Virginia. Rye_Guy823 asks, who's your favorite cameraman that you've worked with? For those of you who don't know, Ryan's the guy who helped me film lots of our videos, honestly. Yeah, a few videos, but we also did the How to Breathe Fire tutorial, which is one of my favorite videos. So shout out to Ryan for helping me film You're My Favorite Cameraman. Unless another cameraman is watching it, then you're my favorite cameraman. But Ryan's like my actual favorite. Daniel John 02 asks, how do you find time to make your YouTube videos? Poorly. I poorly find time to film all the YouTube videos. Just kidding. In the summer, it's pretty easy to keep up with YouTube, but when I'm in college, man, it's tough sometimes. So I just try my best. Angelo Talons asks, can you make another cardistry tips video? I love making those videos. I love helping you guys with like troubleshooting and tips. The thing is that sometimes people get mad at those videos. I don't see why, because I always reference the free tutorial, and I only do it if there's already one that's people are struggling with. I feel like I definitely do it the right way when I do it, but if you have any ideas for something that matches that criteria where there's a free tutorial on YouTube, and we wouldn't be harming the creator in any way by helping people and maybe even directing more people to that original tutorial, then definitely drop in the comments below. But it's definitely a fine line that I don't want to cross with certain moves, you know what I mean? Bearded Kuma 62 asks, what's your favorite flourish? Riffle fan or phased? He also asks, how do you riffle fan? I have a tips, what we just talked about, a cardistry tips troubleshooting video on the riffle fan, so go ahead and check that out. Hunter_Spaswell asks, pie or cake and why? I can't have either of them or I would die a very awful death. But back when I could eat those, I would say probably pie, because apple pie is just that good. Are you a cardistry or magician? Asks Neum_Latif19. Both. Fish Toaster responded, how did you make that pic? He's talking about the one we asked the question on that I've shown before. Photoshop and a lot of fine detail and layer masking. D_GH057 asks, Malaysia? Hopefully one day I can do international travel. Matthew Johnson 39 says, how many jimmies have you rustled? Honestly, quite a few in my day. I'm a bit of an instigator when it comes to playing basketball and stuff like that. Michael_Monroe88 asks, how are you guys so amazing? Thanks, dude. I mean, I don't think I'm that amazing, but I'm happy that you think I'm amazing, and I'll try and keep being like that. Thank you so much. Silver_Tongued465 asks, what inspired you to do a magic YouTube channel? Loved magic, loved cardistry, watched a ton of YouTube. YouTube's always been my go-to source for entertainment, more than TV, so it kind of was inevitable, I guess. Le Card Collector asks, which is more handsome between you two brothers? Grant is definitely more handsome than me. Sam Foussard asks, why did you start magic? Because Grant. Oop, no. Okay, Matrice asks, what's the hardest cardistry move to do? I think Mocking God is what some people say is the hardest, but I've never even tried to learn it. Panji.Maximoff asks, show me magic trick, please. Well, we have a whole YouTube channel of those. Aren.Batra asks, what was the reaction of your parents when you said, I want to be a magician? I've never really told them that. And I don't think I do want to be a magician. I think film and editing and camera work is something that I want to do for a career more than being a magician. Like, by that I mean I'm always going to do magic. I mean magician as in like traveling the country doing magic shows. I don't really think that's for me because I can't really travel because of my health. City_Laps asks, what to do when you get bored of cardistry for like 7 months when you don't feel like going back? Learn something new. Learn something fun. It'll bring you back to when you first started. Always be learning something new if you want to stay into it. Al Fort asks, what is 2 plus 2 times the diameter of the sun divided by 10? I do not know the diameter of the sun off the top of my brain, or dome, or noggin, so I'll get back to you. Doyer_725 asks, whenever I perform magic, my personality changes a bit. How can I be myself more? I would say, that's a tough one, because I think that happens to everyone. That's that they kind of get their adrenaline starts rushing and they become like a different version of themselves when they perform. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. So I would say the more experience you garner, like performing magic, the more natural it become performing magic, and therefore the more natural it is, the more likely you'll be more like yourself, I think. Card Cracks X asks, are you going to release another Sybil variation or Sybil variation? I have a few others, but I don't know if they warrant a full tutorial, so maybe I'll like combine them and make a video with that. It's Meg8116 asks, when will you guys play Fortnite with your subs? We actually do all the time. I have like 120 friends on Fortnite, and they're mostly all subscribers, so just add me and just join my lobby and I'll definitely play with you. It's pretty simple. Steve Lapoter asks, what are your favorite decks that came out this year? I really like the Gemini Malibu deck. I just really like the simplicity of it. The Superfly decks have been pretty cool as well. But yeah, I like both of those. Paul Cardistry asks, what is your Fortnite username? ChanTheMan31. Lil Armanenarari, who's stronger? I guess he's talking about Grant and I. I'm going to go with Grant's probably strong at this very moment, but in the past I've been stronger. Kind of goes back and forth. I would just go for the bigger brother at this point. Pictures by Joshua. Is magic real? Magic is something you find within yourself. It's not tangible, it's spiritual, it's a feeling. Nah, not really, but it can be. I think the magic can be how you make other people feel. That sounded weird. I mean like happy, you make them happy, joyous, Okay. Whew. Vinay_AC, do you have any plans to visit India? Not yet, but hopefully. Neil Satamason asks, which cardistry move that you created are you most proud of? I have a few that I haven't released on YouTube that I really like, but they will be soon. So I don't really want to say anything about that, but I would go with Torque. Grant's move is probably like the best move we released that's original on YouTube. Man, there's a lot of questions. My voice is getting... I hope you guys are still watching at this point. This is a really long video probably. ZT_SYZWN143 asks, what is your best impromptu trick? Probably my whole ambitious card routine. When will you do any kind of tour of yours, then when in India? Asks Rajadeep Guha 123. A lot of fans from India. Really appreciate you guys. A lot of friends from India. You guys are my friend. If you subscribe and ask me a question, you're definitely my friend, not a fan. But like I said, I don't really have my international passport, so I guess coming soon. Dev Magic Official asks, why are you floating in the middle of nowhere? Because it looks cool. Mateo Magic Quitoix asks, do you like Belgium? Yeah, I've never been there, but I don't see why I wouldn't like it. I like Belgium. Barlow Solores, what is your best advice for people who really want to get into magic? Like really? Cheers from Brazil. Like really, all caps really, I would say go learn the history. Do a deep dive. Learn about the magicians of the past, what they did, how they performed. You really want to get deep into the ins and outs of the magic community. I think learning its history would be the most important thing there. How did you make this pick I'm seeing, asks that Domia. Well, it was Adobe Photoshop. Oreo Cyclo asks, do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I do. She really helps film a lot of the videos you guys see on YouTube, especially when I'm at school. So big shout out to her. And in fact, when you see these West Coast trip videos that I'll be posting soon, she really helped film a lot of that too. So big shout out to her. It's actually Amazon Alexa. Mini_Doza asks, how do y'all perform duo magic? Well, we have a few videos of us doing that. You can just, if you're a magician, you can probably see what we're doing. Just watch it yourself, break it down. It's pretty simple. VMalo555 asks, what's your favorite Rise Magic video? Mine is the cardistry battle. I have a lot of favorite videos, so I don't want to do a cop-out. But I think the one that's my favorite is the how to pick up drop cards video, because Grant and I filmed that while we were on vacation, and I edited it when we got back from vacation, right? And when I was done editing it, there's so many dumb jokes in that video, it's so stupid. And when I was gonna post it, I was thinking, there's no way this video gets over 1,000 views. Like, it is so, the thumbnail isn't good. It's kind of hard to explain what's going on in the video unless you click it and watch like a minute in. And then when we posted it, it got like 10,000 views in 2 hours, which was astronomical. We still haven't reached that level. And it was really great to see people really loved it. And during the time when that video was blowing up, it got like 140,000 views in like 2 weeks. We were getting somewhere around 300 subscribers a day. So that's definitely probably one of my favorite videos. Personally, my favorite video that like means the most to me is the Rise Again motivational video, because that just means a lot to me. And I think the coolest video we've done is the fire breathing video. And I think this is the last question. L_CUCUY_43 asks, what would be your dream gimmick to be invented? I would say a deck switch that's like perfect, because the hardest part about using gimmicks is getting them in and out of sight, so they don't know you're using a gimmick, and using a trick deck and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool if you're performing the invisible deck to be able to be like, when you're finished, close it up and somehow have this gimmick that switches it out for a real deck in a very like quick, covert manner so they can examine it right away. I mean, it's not necessary for the trick, but I think a really cool deck switch that was really clean and smooth would be phenomenal for myself, for a gimmick. All right, guys, that is the Q&A. I literally just went through every single question you guys just asked. This video is probably intensely long, and I know I said I wasn't going to edit that much, but after I'm done, I realized I'm probably going to have to chop out a lot of like dead space to make it not insanely long. But all of the questions were answered as genuinely as possible. That was my first time reading them, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys soon in the coming weeks, because I got some really cool West Coast videos coming out and things of that nature. It's a really special video for me just because it still blows my mind. There's people out there who watch like everything we post and care enough about us to ask questions. It's not something I take for granted to have even the following that we do. I really appreciate you guys. When I say you guys are my friends, not my fans, like I really mean that. That's why it's just so cool that I was such a big fan of YouTube and we have our own little community here. And it's something that I've always wanted. I'm really thankful for all of you guys and any support you guys can give us. Really, really appreciate it. I wish you guys knew how much I appreciate it. It really has made my life better. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.